to read an excerpt from the essay The Sun and the Fish. I've chosen this essay because I've recently given it as a present to someone, and it is an essay I love because the sun eclipse could be neutrally described and observed by scientists, but it becomes something else, transformed by Wolf's pen. And I love it because it becomes a personal experience of something universal. The sky was open and free there, but in front of us a soft snowbank had massed itself. Yet, as we looked, we saw it proving worn and thin in patches. The gold momentarily increased, melting the whiteness to a fiery gauze, and this grew frailer and frailer till for one instant we saw the sun in full splendor. Then there was a pause, a moment of suspense like that which precedes a race. The starter held his watch in his hand, counting the seconds. Now they were off. The sun had to race through the clouds and to reach the goal, which was a thin transparency to the right, before the sacred seconds were up. He started. The clouds flung every obstacle in his way. They clung, they impeded. He dashed through them. He could be felt flashing and flying when he was invisible. His speed was tremendous. Here he was out and bright. Now he was under and lost. But always one felt him flying and thrusting through the mark to his goal. For 1 second he emerged and showed himself to us through our glasses, a hollowed sun, a crescent sun. Finally, he went under for his last effort. Now he was completely blotted out. The moments passed. Watches were held in hand after hand. The sacred 24 seconds were begun. Unless he could win through before the last one was over, he was lost. Still one felt him tearing and racing behind the clouds to win free, but the clouds held him. They spread, they thickened, they slackened, they muffled his speed. Of the 24 seconds, only 5 remained, and still he was obscured. And as the fatal seconds passed, and we realized that the sun was being defeated, had now indeed lost the race, all the color began to go from the moor. The blue turned to purple, the white became livid as at the approach of a violent but windless storm. Pink faces went green, and it became colder than ever. This was the defeat of the sun, then. And this was also, we thought, turning in disappointment from the dull cloud blanket in front of us to the moors behind. They were livid, they were purple. But suddenly one became aware that something more was about to happen, something unexpected, awful, unavoidable. The shadow growing darker and darker over the moor was like the heeling over a boat, which instead of righting itself at the critical moment, turns a little further and then a little further on its side, and suddenly capsizes. So the light turned and heeled over and went out. This was the end. The flesh and blood of the word was dead. Only the skeleton was left. It hung beneath us, a frail shell, brown, dead, withered. Then, with some trifling movement, this profound obeisance of the light, this stooping down and abasement of all splendor was over. Lightly, on the other side of the word, up it rose. It sprang up as if the one movement, after a second's tremendous pause, completed the other, and the light which had died here rose again elsewhere. Never was there such a sense of rejuvenescence and recovery. All the convalescences and respite of life seemed rolled into one. Yet at first so light and frail and strange the colour was, sprinkled rainbow-like in a hoop of colour, that it seemed as if the earth could never live decked out in such frail tints. It hung beneath us like a cage, like a hoop, like a globe of glass. It might be blown out, it might be stove in, but steadily and surely our relief broadened and our confidence established itself as the great paintbrush washed in woods dark on the valley, and massed hills blue above them. The world became more and more solid. It became populous. It became a place where an infinite number of farmhouses, of villages, of railway lines have lodgment, until the whole fabric of civilization was modelled and moulded. But still the memory endured that the earth we stand on is made of colour. Colour can be blown out, and then we stand on a dead leaf, and we who tread the earth securely now have seen it dead.